Welcome back. I'm sorry, it's the network bringing us back and forth. So this is me trying to round up. So like I was saying another way to know the three ways that I've mentioned for us to know that moisture is still retained in your hair is checking with your fingers, putting your braids or twists in between your fingers, checking 24 hours or some days after, and also feeling your hair, knowing that it is dry physically. That's another way. And the third way is that the ends of your hair is already tangling up. You can really see that the ends of your hair is already tangling up. That's another way. Those are the three ways that I outlined for us. So I said if your hair is low porosity, you can make do with remoisturizing your hair twice in a week, since you have not really figured out how to know if your hair is really moisturized or not. But if you are sure that your hair is low porosity, you can make do with remoisturizing your hair twice a week. If your hair is high porosity, because it loses moisture easily, you can make do with 3 times a week if your hair is high porosity. And if you do not know if your hair is high porosity or high porosity, you can actually on wash day. So this is how you do the test. On wash day, after washing every product off your hair, after shampooing, there is no products left in your hair. So you just take a strand of your hair, just a strand like this, you cut it out. You can take a strand or 2 or 3 so that you are sure that your hair is either low porosity or high porosity. Take a clean glass of water, preferably a transparent glass that you can see through. So you put that strand that you have already washed off product, a clean strand that you've not even added any product, you just washed it out of shampoo. So after cutting it, you drop it on top of that water. Don't dip the hair into the water. This is a test to know if your hair is low porosity or high porosity. So you wait for 10 to 15 minutes. You can even wait up to 30 minutes to be sure. If that strand of hair goes deep into the water, then your hair is high porosity. That means your hair really absorbs water. If your hair stays in the middle of that water, that means your hair is within normal. It can retain moisture, lose out moisture in the normal range that your hair should. But if your hair stays on top of the water, no matter how long you leave it on that water, that means your hair is low porosity. It doesn't want to even absorb moisture. And why does it not want to absorb moisture? Because the cuticles of the hair, because the hair is in 3 layers. So the cuticles of the hair, which is the outermost layer, is tightly closed. It does not open to absorb moisture. If you now want to carry your moisture routine to an advanced end, if you have low porosity hair, always try to use warm liquid. If it is hair rinse you want to use, if it is your sprit, you can warm it in water. It doesn't have to be hot. You can warm it up. So warming up your liquid that you want to use to moisturize your hair is like you trying to open the cuticles of your low porosity hair. But if you have high porosity, you can make do with any temperature of water to moisturize your hair. So if your hair stands on top of the water, low porosity, go zip down into the water, high porosity. So you already know that, okay, now that I know that my hair is low porosity or high porosity, you make do with starting moisturizing your hair with, if your hair is low porosity, twice a week, high porosity 3 times a week. So with time, you get to understand that, okay, this is the number of days my hair stays moisturized. This is the number of days my hair stays moisturized. So you try to create your own routine and modify it according to what your hair really is evidence of when you do things to it, when you apply products, when you do this, when you do that. So this hair growth challenge is a way of you to know your hair is not. So thank you for joining us tonight, regardless of the back and forth that the network is doing to us. Thank you for joining us. So please do not forget that after you moisturize your hair, you don't cover your hair immediately. You don't apply your scarf or your hair bonnet immediately, because it is just a way of you trying to rip off your hair, all the product that you just added to. You just imagine that you added products to your hair now, and immediately you are tying scarf. So your scarf is already collecting all the products that you added. So please try as much as possible after moisturizing your hair, after massaging your scalp, after